everybody, Rochelle here with Rik Lei Jewelry. I'm very excited today because we have a really important video to be able to showcase to you guys, and it's brought to you today by CTF TV, which is exciting. I want to get started today just by going over some things that I've, as a jeweler, have come across throughout the years, some things that I've been educated on, or just some personal things that I've noticed with how jewelry tarnishes very quickly, and being able to properly care for it so that you can continue to enjoy your jewelry, because they're investments. It's not like cars. They actually increase in value rather than taking it off the lot and decreasing. So it's very important that you take care of your jewelry, because that's more money in your pocket down the road. So today I'm going to start with some tips. Some of these tips I have learned throughout my journey as a jeweler. I've also learned it through being educated and educating myself. Not only that, I've actually come across a lot of different remedies and different things that you can do with jewelry, just as my personal use of being a jeweler. So a few things that I want to go over would be, when is the best time to remove your jewelry? The best time to remove your jewelry would be when you're about to go swimming. Why? Because the chlorine and everything, all the chemicals that are in it, are very harsh to your jewelry. Another great time to be able to take off your jewelry and store them properly would be when you're heading to the beach. That sea salt, that sand is terrible. Not only that, it's very bad that when the sunlight actually is consistently excessively hitting your jewelry, it can actually tarnish it as well. So you want to limit the sunlight on your jewelry. You want to limit the salt and anything that might harshly damage it. Another great time to be able to take off your jewelry is when you're getting ready to clean. A lot of the times we don't use products that are natural. We use products that smell good, but they are very damaging because they have so many chemicals in them. That's something that we don't want to deal with. Again, our jewelry is precious and we want to be able to keep it for a long time. On average, sterling silver actually lasts from 20 to 30 years. So if you properly care for it and you actually store it properly, you can elongate the life on your jewelry, which is what we want, because again, it's an investment. Why not? So another great time that you should really take off your jewelry is when you're ready to go work out. If you're going to be moving things, anything that's heavy, any excessive weight that could actually bust your bands, can pull prongs, which is not good. They can be very expensive repairs that you have to take to the jeweler. So we want to eliminate having those defects or anything that's going to make your jewelry have to be sent to the jeweler. So those are a few great tips. A few other great tips would be when you're putting on lotion in the morning time or throughout the day, when you're putting on beauty products, those are great times to not be wearing your jewelry. Why? Because again, oils and the products that are in lotions, they cake up in your jewelry. I know that very well because when I was working for other companies and I was the polisher, I used to see soot and build up in people's hair and lotion, and everything was just all gunked up in it. And that was because people were not properly caring for their jewelry. They were not taking off their jewelry when they're putting these products on. And third, it was eventually tarnishing, and it was actually dulling your jewelry. So instead of your jewelry shining like how it should be, a lot of the products that you're putting on your jewelry is actually dumbing down the shine. Which, who wants that? Because ultimately, the whole purpose of your jewelry is so that it does shine. So those are just a really few quick tricks, and just some things that you can remember that with your jewelry. Again, it's very important to be able to take them off at the very important times, because they will have longevity to them. So make sure when you're putting on those products, make sure when you're running to the gym, make sure when you're going to the beach to have fun, make sure that you're storing your things properly, because you want them to be able to last a whole lot longer. So those, again, are just a few tips. And I want to start getting into some of the procedures of how to be able to clean them properly and store them, because that's the most important part of being able to care for your jewelry and to be able to keep them for a long time. So stay tuned, and I'm going to be right back with some of those things. Okay guys, so now we're going to start preparing our jewelry so that we can begin to clean them. This is the exciting part to me, because this is the project that I've been waiting to put out for so long, because I want my customers and my clientele to be educated on how to clean their jewelry and to have the proper tools to be able to clean their jewelry properly. And how do we do so? with our Rik Lei jewelry cleaning kits. That's how. These are our new products that we will be offering and sending out with every package that we get orders for you guys, so that you can continue to clean your jewelry throughout the year. And not only that are we sending you these kits when you purchase products from Rik Lei, we're also giving complimentary 1 annual cleaning per year. So this will get you through the year, and then you'll be sending in your merchandise to Rik Lei Studios, and we'll be doing it at no cost, because that comes along with the package. And we also want to be able to provide you guys with continued jewelry that can elongate its life. So we're going to start now. So inside of our packages, you'll see once you get them, because you're going to be purchasing our products and you're going to be getting these free kits. So in our kits, we actually have the Rik Lei jewelry cleaner. Along with that, let's take all these goodies out. Along with that, you're going to be receiving an applicator brush, a how-to on both sides. It gives you some tips and it gives you a little breakdown of kind of like what we're about to do now, but in a little bit more of a summed up version. You're also going to be getting a cloth. This is important. This is very important because this is what helps your jewelry to not tarnish. This is what you can utilize throughout the year before you send in your jewelry to us, to be able to get a little bit more of that tarnish off of your jewelry. And again, it's free to you. Fifthly, we're going to be sending these out to people when they need repairs. These are ring sizers. So say, for instance, your rings become too small or they become too big. This is what we're going to be sending to you, so that you can properly size your fingers and send it back to us with your repairs. That way we can get the precise measurement for you and your repairs in and out without you having to come to us. So that's a plus for sure. So what we're going to do is, the jewelry that you're going to be cleaning when you get to the point of cleaning is, you're going to get your cleaning solution, and you're going to be warming up 1 cup of warm water. Not hot, not boiling water. You need it to be warm, because you don't want it to be too harsh on your jewelry. Again, we want to eliminate the excess of water. We want to eliminate the excess of anything that could be damaging to your jewelry. So that's why I say only 1 cup. Now, when you're getting ready to do this, you're going to be putting in about 2 tablespoons of your jewelry cleaner into what I have is just like a little dish. You can go right to the dollar store. They come in a pack of 4, and you can utilize them for so many different things. I like them because they're small, and they carry them. They hold my jewelry, and I can clean them well, and it's not a mess. So what we're going to do is, I already put in the 2 tablespoons of the cleaner, and I added half of a cup of the water already to my cleaning solution. So what we're going to do is, typically you're going to be soaking your jewelry from 5 to 10 minutes, but since we don't want you sitting here watching this for 5 to 10 minutes while this jewelry is soaking, we're just kind of push through a little bit faster. So I have some pieces right here that actually were pieces of jewelry that I had gotten from a wholesale that were all damaged pieces, and this is stuff that I use at my studio that I can melt down and recreate. So this is kind of just some samples of how jewelry can actually look tarnished when they're not properly cared for, and when they have excessive oil, when they have excessive air to them, and they're not stored properly. And this is the condition that I actually received them in. So this is a great way to be able to show you that things that are not properly cared for will not look beautiful in a long time, because that's the whole point of jewelry. You're supposed to keep care of them because they're investments. So I'm going to go ahead and just soak some of this jewelry for a few minutes while we talk about a couple of things, and go from there. So prior to you soaking them, the most important thing for you to do, and while these are soaking, I'm going to kind of just go over a few things with you. One of the most important things for you to do is actually to observe your jewelry prior to you soaking them. So I'm just going to kind of show you with one of my rings right here. As I'm kind of just like looking over it a little bit, making sure that there's no damage to the ring, making sure that all of the prongs are down. Because what you don't want to do is, you actually don't want to have anything that's damaged and then put it in there and try and scrub it and clean it, and it actually makes a worse of the piece being damaged, and then it could be more money out of your pocket. So we're going to eliminate that right here, right now, and I just need you guys to make sure that you properly overview, make sure you're looking inside, making sure that there's nothing that could be wrong with it, or nothing that at least looks damaged. If that is the case and you do see maybe prongs that are pulled back, they have been snagged by something, don't proceed. See if you can contact the jeweler who's the jeweler you purchased it from, or of course you can bring it to Rik Lei and we would love to help you. But if you do not see anything wrong with it or damaged with it, you can then go ahead and proceed and put it into the jewelry cleaner. Allow it to soak again for 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to just say that it's 5 minutes already. And I'm going to grab a few pieces. I'm going to clean this piece right here. This is actually my grandmom's engagement ring. So this is precious. So Grandma, Mom, you made it to the video. So I just want to kind of show you what you're going to do is you're going to kind of, when you're using the applicator brush, you want to go in circles. You don't want to be too harsh. You want to be somewhat light. Just again, because you don't want to create any damage by cleaning it yourself. So I just kind of go in circles, get all the outside, get the stones, make sure you get the stones good. And then I go underneath where the stones are. Because again, like I was telling you earlier, this was the part, the inside, this was the part that used to get me every time when I had to clean people's jewelry. Because this is where all the buildup gets. This is where the hair stores, the lotion stores, the oil stores, the dirt stores. This is where it all stores. So make sure you get in there real good, because then that'll allow the stones from the bottom part of the ring to actually shine brighter, because now you don't have anything that's closing it in with dirt or grime or anything like that. So it's going to shine better. Trust me. Alright, so we did that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to dip it into the warm water. I'm not going to keep it in there long because we don't want to have too much water on it. And typically you can get like a paper towel and kind of just dab it a little bit. Of course, I didn't have one on hand. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and open up our cleaning cloth, which is provided for you. And what you're going to do is you're going to just try and get in all the little crevices. Try and dry as best as possible because we don't want any excess water or anything on it. And voila, look at that thing blinging. It's blinging like it's supposed to be blinging. It's shining. Yes, okay, so that was one. Next I want to do some sterling silver, because the last one I just did was gold, and gold is different than sterling silver. Gold has holds its natural state a whole lot better than sterling silver actually does. Sterling silver is made up of 92.5% of pure silver, and then it makes up 7.5% of other alloys, which copper is included. So if you're familiar with copper, if you know that when you wear copper for even a small amount of time, it's going to start tarnishing and it's going to leave some green spots on your skin and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons why sterling silver can tarnish to a degree. Now, it's not a defect of sterling silver. Let me just say that. There's no defects to sterling silver. It's actually a chemical reaction. So it's a sulfate. It's the properties in the sulfate that actually allow it to tarnish. So that's some chemistry there for you. So what we're going to do is now that I kind of soaked this for a little bit, I'm just going to try and scrub it. Again, this one literally was not cared for prior to me even getting it, and you can tell just because of how much tarnish it was. Now when I say tarnish, now the tarnish is actually like a darker color. So you're not going to see the shine, you're not going to see the brightness prior. But once you kind of get in there a little bit, you'll see that it brings back to life. And again, this is only temporary. So this is like you doing your cleaning while you're waiting for your annual cleaning. Because once you get it to me, honey, once I get it back to you, that thing is going to be brand new like you just bought it from me. So, no worries there. We're going to dip it again a little bit. And I actually can see some of the tarnish come up a little bit. So it is a little bit shinier. Now this is the fun part. These rags right here, these cloths, are actually amazing for sterling silver because they get off the tarnish so well. Like you can just do it dry. If you don't have time to go and wash and clean your jewelry, all you have to do is take this cloth, kind of run it through a few times, run it over it a little bit, and I'm going to show you how much tarnish. Now remember, this was a brand new cloth when I started this. So I'm going to show you just how much tarnish this cloth actually takes off. And that's just off of one piece. So that just shows you how you can go from something that's not well taken care of to bring it somewhat back to its shine. So I'm just going to kind of let these soak for a little bit. Actually, you know what? No, I have some studs, so we're going to get up in here and get some studs done too. Because these are fun because you got to keep good control over the posts. Alright, I'll do one. I'll just do one just to kind of give you guys an idea. Now those didn't have to be cleaned very well because these have been properly cared for and properly stored, so there's not tarnish on them. I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a difference in product of how to clean them. So that's cleaning them. So once you've actually dipped them, you're now creating the circular motion with your brush, your applicator brush, and then you're going to make sure that you rinse them off properly with warm water. That's where the other half of your cup will be, in the half cup of the water that's just your rinse there. And then from your rinse, you're going to go right to your cloth. And again, as we saw, our cloths were major helps because this is what gets the excess oil, dirt, grime, anything that the cleaning didn't get. This is going to take the tarnish with you. So this is bringing your jewelry right back to life. It's not quite a professional cleaning like you will once you send your jewelry into us, but it will still give you some shine, and it'll give some of the luster back in your jewelry, which we want. We don't want our jewelry to just be dull for a whole year. Like, we want it to have some oomph in it because that's the whole point of our jewelry. So that is basically the process that we have as far as cleaning it. And it was important for me to be able to create a product for you guys that is so simple. Like these are remedies that you can literally create while you're at home if you run out of your jewelry cleaner. A lot of the jewelry cleaners that are sold nowadays have very harsh chemicals in them, which actually contradicts what it's supposed to be doing for the jewelry. So again, it's very simple. It's an easy process. And when you get these packets, you will see the card that gives you kind of instructions again. But the whole point of this video is so you can see it in action and you can get a better feel as to how to do it as well. So that's the exciting part. So this is the cleaning jewelry part. Now the next thing that I want to get into that is very, very important. Earlier we talked about making sure that you take your jewelry off and that you care for it properly. Now the next thing is storage. How do you store your jewelry? You say, I don't have a jewelry box. That's okay if you don't have a jewelry box. There's many ways that you can go about storing your jewelry properly and allowing it to still continue to have a great life. So my number one thing is making sure that you find a safe place. What's your safe place? What does a safe place even mean? When you're taking your jewelry off, to put on your products in the morning, or if you're taking your jewelry off at night prior to you washing the dishes, or whatever the case may be, whenever you're taking your jewelry off, where is your safe place? Where's your go-to at? A lot of times people mistakenly put them on like a little dish in the kitchen, right above the sink when they're washing the dishes. They know it's there. God forbid, things happen. I've had plenty of people come to me and say that they've lost their jewelry down pipes, they've lost their jewelry down toilets, they've lost their jewelry in some places that you just can't get them back, or it's difficult to get them back. So I want to educate you, and I need you to create a safe place, a safe haven for your jewelry. Because why? Again, they're investments. They also are keepsakes. So this may be jewelry that may have been passed down to you and you will never get that back. So your safe place is mucho important. So I recommend that if you are going to be finding a safe place, which I really hope I'm recommending for you to do so, that you stay away from storing your jewelry in the kitchen of any sort, whether it be on the countertop, whether it be, just a little off by the cabinets. Don't do it in the kitchen. take them few extra moments or steps that you need to go bring it into the bedroom, or to put it in a box to keep it safe, or put it in the curio real quick, so you know that it's physically out of the way and out of harm, especially if you have kids. This was a story that I know close and personal. Somebody was washing the dishes, they put the ring up on the dish like they do every day. The kid wanted to come help do the dishes and slipped, and when the kid slipped, the jewelry went right down the drain, but the water was running when it happened, so they were never able to get her jewelry back, unfortunately. So, no kitchen. Just like the bathroom, no bathroom. We don't want to put it anywhere near sinks, anywhere near toilets, anywhere near drains, or anything that can allow your jewelry down vents. Like, you have to make sure that when you're putting your jewelry away or putting it somewhere that is safe, you're putting it in a box that's tarnish free. You're putting it in little baggies that are tarnish free. Now, when you purchase with Rik Lei, we provide that for you. So that's another incentive to come over to Rik Lei, because we make sure that we take care of you, we make sure that you're properly educated, and we make sure that you have the resources and tools that you need, because that's important. That's the most important thing, that we want to send you off and make sure you're very well taken care of. So just a few last things that I want to touch on. Rik Lei's been in business for over 10 years, so we have sold a wide variety of different types of jewelry from the very beginning of our journey. We sold costume jewelry and loved doing it. That was a huge part of what we did. It was just creating pieces that were just what expressed ourselves, and that's how I expressed my art at the time through the beginning of my journey. So I want to kind of give you some insight on how to properly care for that as well, because just because it might not be a precious metal, you can still actually keep the longevity of your costume jewelry as well if that's also properly cared for and taken care of. So the one thing about costume jewelry is that a lot of the times an adhesive is utilized in keeping the bond of the jewelry. So unlike precious jewelry like we create now, a lot of the times the stones which are faceted are actually glued in or adhesed in, and you utilizing a cleaner is not good for it. So I do not recommend you utilizing the cleaner for costume jewelry, because it does have different metals as well as it does have different capabilities of keeping the jewelry together. So I do not recommend you utilizing the cleaner on any costume jewelry. If anything that you will be utilizing from the kits, I would say you could use this, because this is not going to harm it by any means. But you don't want to use any of the liquid or any of the water when cleaning the costume jewelry, because again, they are faceted, or they're glued in, or they're adhesed in. And as soon as any of those, the liquid or any of the contents of the cleaner hits it, it will more than likely pull out the adhesive. And then at that point, your jewelry is kind of like null and void, and it would either have to be repaired, fixed, or it's kind of like donezo. So I do not recommend cleaning it like that. Again, if you do want to just kind of touch it up a little bit, you can use this cloth by all means. It will not hurt it. Another great aspect that I want to put out there, pearls. Pearls are very, very, very delicate. Pearls can change easily, and they can actually be damaged very easily. So again, I do not recommend utilizing the cleaning kit on pearls either. Again, I do not recommend cleaning pearls with the cleaner or any cleaner of any sort. When you wear your pearls, every time that you take your pearls off, I would recommend using your cloth and individually cleaning each pearl off. Now, I know this may be very tedious and it may be something you don't want to do every time, but if that's the case, then you may be killing half the life of your pearls. Your pearls are precious. They are very expensive, and they're not something that you can necessarily just always come across all the time, especially if they're keepsakes. So, when you're starting with your jewelry, you're going to start at the clasp, and you're going to rub the clasp, and you're going to individually clean each pearl. Now, this is allowing any oils to come off, any abrasive chemicals that may have been on it, from maybe perfume, from lotions that you may have had, any makeup, any particles that may now be on your pearls. They can damage your pearls over time, because if you're not physically cleaning them, they will eventually absorb and they will turn yellow. They can turn almost like you put them in water and now they're just killed. So don't do that. Don't put them in a cleaner. Make sure you're wiping them individually after every single wear, and you will see the longevity on the life of your pearls by just doing that small tip with your pearls. So I really hope that you guys got some really good information from cleaning. I'm going to give you a little bit of information now on storage, just to properly store your things, just so that you can have the longevity of your pieces. These are a few pieces that I kind of just utilize while I'm in the studio or if I'm at home. I mean, these are simple little boxes that you can use. You can put your jewelry cleaner in the box with it as well, and then maybe put your jewelry in there with it. This will help absorb any additional liquid or any additional water or anything that's on it. It will help pull some of that back out, which is what you want. The other thing that you can utilize that are great are these little anti-tarnish bags that you can just easily store them, put them in a jewelry box, put them in a little box. The less light possible, the less exposure to any air, the less exposure to any chemicals or anything like that is your best bet. So the better you store it, the better you properly store it, the longer you will keep your jewelry for. Now this is one of my favorite pieces that I actually store a lot of the materials that I utilize in the studio. These are great. They're just makeup organizers. You can get them at Ross. You can get them at any type of TJ Maxx, Marshalls, any of those stores. They're pretty reasonable if you can catch a good deal. And you can go right to the dollar store. Now if you're familiar with the dollar store, you can get the, they're like mesh. They kind of look like little mesh bubbles. People use them for like inside drawers, and that's what I do. I just cut them to the drawer size that I have, and I put them in there, and I place my jewelry in there with them, because now at this point, this is acting as if it's an absorbent, so it's pulling any extra moisture or anything from your jewelry. So please make sure that you're finding your safe place, and not only are you finding your safe place, you're storing your jewelry properly. And I'm saying this as a jeweler. Now, of course, I could be telling you, go ahead, just do this. Go ahead, don't take care of that, don't store it properly. And then when things go wrong, come on over here, yeah, and I'll rack your bill up. No, that's not ideally as something, as me as a jeweler, I enjoy what I do. And what I do is educate, properly educate, and to make sure that the people who are getting their jewelry are enjoying it for a long time. So that's why I want to make sure that you're educated, and I want to make sure that you have the right tools that you can utilize when Miss Lee is not there, and throughout the year as you need so. Now, of course, you can send in your jewelry throughout the year, but again, we only give one complimentary cleaning per piece per year, which come with a care card, which will be provided in our care packs. So every time that your year comes up, you'll send the card in with your jewelry, we'll stamp it, and then that way you know and we know that it's been done for the year, and it gives you a reminder for the next year. This is very important. Now again, if there's jewelry that you have that are not Rik Lei pieces, and you have insurance or warranties through these companies, make sure that you're taking advantage of them, because then if not, you're just losing it, and you're allowing your jewelry to actually have possibility of more damage. Because you want to make sure that you're getting your jewelry looked at properly, and you want to make sure that it's being cared for, because if you, down the road, I mean, things happen, prongs are pulled, or you know, the inside of your rings can start cracking if you're too hard on your jewelry. So things happen. I mean, of course, if you still take care of your things properly, and God forbid, you know, something happens, like things happen. It's not like you're going to do this process and be mad because something happened. Like, let's be ideal. Things do happen with jewelry. Things happen. But this whole process is just kind of give you an idea to be able to help live the life of your jewelry live longer. So there are just a few tips. And then the cleaning process as well of our new jewelry cleaning kits, which I'm very excited to be able to put out. and to be able to send to you guys when you get our products. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you got some really good information out of this. I really hope that we were beneficial and an asset in you being able to keep your jewelry for a long, long time, to the point where you can pass it down to your kids and your grandkids. And hey, who knows, the way gold is rocketing, is skyrocketing right now, you could have a great payday. So make sure that your investments that you have put into this jewelry, you're taking care of it, because that is hardcore cash right there. And you don't want to miss out on something just because you were too lazy or you just didn't want to go the extra mile to take care of what you need to take care of properly. So from my office to yours, please make sure that you take care of your jewelry properly. You watch this video, you utilize the tools that we've given you today, and stay tuned because we will continue to educate you on a lot of different things. This is just volume 1 on educating you. We have so many more videos to come and so much more to educate you on, from stones to the hardness and softness of stones, to knowing and educating yourself on what you actually own. And how to be able to care for them more intricately as well, because each stone is different. This is kind of just like a basis of how to clean your metal as well. But again, I really hope that you enjoyed this. I know I did. I'm pumped. I'm excited. This came alive. It's manifested. So thank you so much. Again, many blessings to you guys. Thanks again to CTF TV for hosting us. So God bless, stay tuned, and check us out at riklei.com, as well as on all of our social media at Rik Lei, that's RIKLEI, and we look forward to having you guys a part of the brand. Thanks so much. God bless.